Have you been in a situation where you've set conditions and you say that unless I see this, or unless I do that, or unless something else happens, and you put those kind of conditions in place? And then when it comes to it, you suddenly discover that all the conditions that you put in place are really totally unnecessary. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me give you an example. In John's Gospel, we read about Thomas. And I know people call him Doubting Thomas, but, I think there's something about Thomas which I would prefer to say that there's a honest Thomas. Someone who didn't want the wool pulled over their eyes, who wanted to see things clearly. I think in many ways that's Thomas. I know he held things up because Jesus had said, I go before you into Galilee, that you might see me as the risen Lord in that place where you've grown up and where we've fellowshiped together. And he said that to them, and he made it really clear, go before me to Galilee. But they waited a whole week after Resurrection Sunday through to the point where Jesus appeared again and Thomas was able to believe. It was like they're saying, well, we're going to go together, and if Thomas still hasn't yet decided, we're just going to have to wait for Thomas. But this moment, when Thomas, having said, unless I see this and unless I do that, I won't believe. When Jesus comes, everything changes. Let me read from John's Gospel, chapter 20. It says this. Then Jesus said to Thomas, put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hands and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe. And Thomas said to him, my Lord and my God. Do you know, I don't think he needed to put the finger there. I think Jesus insisted. I think, come on, that's what you said. You're going to have to do it. You have to put your finger in my hand. You're going to have to put your hand into my side. I'm going to make sure that you get exactly what you said. But I know that now you've seen me. The conditions that you were placing on all of this, they're secondary. But the wounds are real. Those wounds that I suffered on the cross, the nail prints in my hand and in my feet, that spear that went into my side, that is real. They put that spear in not to kill me, but to prove that I was dead. And I was. When that spear went in, blood poured out. It was as if it went into my heart. And the water that had collected around my heart in all the suffering, that was released as well. Saw the water and the blood together, something you probably only see at a time of birth. But here, there was a whole new birthing coming in for the world. Yes, that wound in my side is real. Yes, those wounds in my hands are real. But now you've seen me and you've touched those. You know, you believe. So I just want to put that before you today, because it could be that you put a lot of conditions around all sorts of things. Unless I see this, unless I see that, unless something else. But what you need is not necessary to put your fingers in the wounds, but actually just to see the risen Jesus and to see his heart for you and his love for you and his demonstration that he was prepared to suffer for you. So be prepared to lay aside your conditions and just have an encounter with the Lord that will answer those questions as you get to know him and see how much he did for each one of us.